Srinivasa Ramanujan Iyengar was a born Indian mathematician, one of the greatest mathematicians of all time. Though he had almost no formal training in pure mathematics, he made substantial contributions to mathematical analysis, number theory, infinite series, and continued fractions, including solutions to mathematical problems then considered unsolvable. Ramanujan ఉచ్ఛ్వాస నిశ్వాసలే గణితం, గణితమే ఆయన శ్వాస, గణితమే ఆయన భాష, గణితమే ఆయన ఆశ, గణితమే ఆయన ప్రాణం, గణితమే ఆయన మానం, గణితమే ఆయన అభిమానం, గణితమే ఆయన ఆశయం, గణితమే ఆయన ఆయుధం, గణితమే ఆయన ఆలోచన, గణితమే ఆయన ఆరాధన, గణితమే ఆయన ఆత్మనివేదన, గణితమే ఆయన ప్రపంచం, గణితమే ఆయన పంచప్రాణం, గణితమే ఆయన జీవన యానం, గణితమే ఆయన అర్థం, గణితమే ఆయన జీవన పరమార్థం. Ramanujan was born on 22nd December 1887 into a Tamil Brahmin Iyengar family in Erode, in present-day Tamil Nadu. His father, Kuppuswamy Srinivasa Iyengar, originally from Tanjavur district, worked as a clerk in a sari shop. His mother, Komala Tammal, was a housewife and sang at a local temple. They lived in a small traditional home on Sarangapani Sannidhi Street in the town of Kumbakonam. Ramanujan contracted smallpox but recovered. He is the only survival son. In spite of healthy problems, he never slowed down his passion towards mathematics. Numbers and equations dance on his head by the grace of Goddess Saraswati. A child prodigy by age 11, he had exhausted the mathematical knowledge. He was later lent a book written by S.L. Loney on advanced trigonometry. He mastered this by the age of 13, while discovering sophisticated theorems on his own. By the age of 14, he received merit certificates and academic awards that continued throughout his school career. In 1903, when he was 16, Ramanujan obtained from a friend a library copy of a synopsis of elementary results in pure and applied mathematics. J.S. carries collections of 5,000 theorems. Ramanujan reportedly studied the contents of the book in detail. The next year, Ramanujan independently developed and investigated the Bernoulli numbers and calculated the Euler constant up to 15 decimal places. He received a scholarship to study at Government Arts College, Kumbakonam, but was so intent on mathematics that he could not focus on any other subjects and failed most of them, losing his scholarship in this process. To find house number which is equal to the sum of the left side of the house and right side of the house in a row houses. This is actually happened. From 288 row houses, 204 is the middle house. The sum of the left side and right side houses is 20,706. So, seeing this in a magazine, Ramanujan made a formula for n number of row houses. To find the middle house number, he prepared a formula by using continued fractions. On 14th July 1909, at the age of 21, Ramanujan got married to a girl, Janaki, whose age was 10 years at the time of marriage. Ramanujan continued his work without employment and living in the poorest circumstances. After marrying in 1909, he began a search for permanent employment that culminated in an interview with a government official, Ramachandra Rao. Impressed by Ramanujan's mathematical powers, Rao supported his research for a time, but Ramanujan, unwillingly to exist on charity, obtained a clerical post with the Madras Port Trust. In 1911, Ramanujan published the first of his papers in the Journal of the Indian Mathematical Society. His genius slowly gained recognition. On 16th June 1913, Ramanujan wrote a letter to the British mathematician Godfrey H. Hardy. It shows like this: Dear Sir, I beg to introduce myself to you as a clerk in the accounts department of the Port Trust office at Madras on a salary of only £20 per annum. I am now about 23 years of age. I have had no university education. After leaving school, I am been employing the spare time at my disposal to work at mathematics. I have made special instigation of divergent series in general, and the result I get are termed by the local mathematicians as startling. Ramanujan, after accepting Ramanujan, Hardy accepted him and invited Ramanujan to England. So Ramanujan departed from Madras aboard the SS Srivastava on 17th March 1914. When he disembarked in London on 14th April, Ramanujan immediately began his work with Littlewood and Hardy. Ramanujan left a deep impression on Hardy and Littlewood. Littlewood commented, I can believe that he is at least a Jacobi, while Hardy said he can compare him only with Euler and or Jacobi. Ramanujan spent nearly 5 years in Cambridge collaborating with Hardy and Littlewood and published part of his findings there. Ramanujan was awarded a Bachelor of Arts by Research degree, the predecessor of the PhD degree, in March 1916 for his work on highly composite numbers. On 6th December 1917, Ramanujan was elected to the London Mathematical Society. On 2nd May 1918, he was elected a Fellow of the Royal Society, the second Indian admitted after Ardashir Karsji in 1841. At the age of 31, Ramanujan was one of the youngest fellow in the Royal Society's history. He was elected for his investigation in elliptic functions and the theory of numbers. On 13th October 1918, he was the first Indian to be elected a Fellow of Trinity College, Cambridge. In England, Ramanujan made further advances, especially in the pattern of numbers, the number of ways that a positive integer can be expressed as the sum of positive integers. For example, 4 can be expressed as 4, 3 plus 1, 2 plus 2, 2 plus 1 plus 1, and 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. His papers were published in English and European journals, and in 1919 he was elected to the Royal Society of London. In 1917, Ramanujan had contracted tuberculosis, TB, but his condition improved sufficiently for him to return to India in 1919. The number 1729 is known as the Hardy Ramanujan number after a famous visit by Hardy to see Ramanujan at a hospital. In Hardy's words, I remember once going to see him when he was ill at Putney. I had ridden in taxi cab number 1729 and remarked that the number seemed to me rather a dull one, and that I hoped it was not an unfavorable woman. No, he replied, it is a very interesting number. It is the smallest number expressible as the sum of two cubes in two different ways. Immediately before this anecdote, Hardy quoted Littlewood as saying every positive integer was one of personal friends of Ramanujan. That is, 1729 can be expressed as the 1 cube plus 12 cube or 9 cube plus 10 cube. So Ramanujan died the following year, generally known to the world at large but recognized by mathematicians as a phenomenal genius without peer since Leonhard Euler and Carl Jacobi. Ramanujan left behind 3 notebooks and a sheaf of pages, also called the Lost Notebook, containing many unpublished results that mathematicians continued to verify long after his death. During his short life, Ramanujan independently compiled nearly 3,900 results, mostly identities and equations. Many were completely novel. His original and highly unconventional results, such as the Ramanujan prime, the Ramanujan theta function, partition formula, and Mach theta functions, have opened entire new areas of work and inspired further research. Of his thousands of results, most have been proven correct. The Ramanujan Journal, a scientific journal, was established to publish work in all areas of mathematics influenced by Ramanujan, and his notebooks containing summaries of his published and unpublished results have been analyzed and studied for decades since his death as a source of new mathematical ideas. As late as 2012, researchers continue to discover that mere comments in his writings about simple properties, similar outputs for certain findings were themselves profound and subtle in number theory, results that remained unsuspected until nearly a century after his death. My dear friends, that is the greatness of all-time great born mathematician Srinivasa Ramanujan Iyengar. Thank you.